Okay, first off, this says Starlink is a huge threat to India. Why no Starlink in China? We gotta subscribe. This guy is super based. I like him already. Already have to say I disagree with this sentiment right off the rip, and I'm gonna go ahead and give my opinion. We'll see the video, and then we'll come back and see how far off I am. I don't think Starlink is going to be a quote unquote threat to India, right? I think the idea of Starlink is good for humanity as a whole, for globe as a whole, to provide internet to the globe. And for somebody who is terminally on the internet, maybe terminally ill as well, there's a whole culture on the internet. And yes, you could be a total degenerate, degen, troll, meme lord on the internet, but you could also learn how to be a really good person. You can learn so much about history. You can create communities and have parasocial relationships. So I think connecting the globe ultimately is going to be a good thing. And I think with this Trump administration and this ideally friendship with Modi, we're going to, and I know the tariffs thing scare people, but I think tariffs is just for negotiation. And at the end of the day, business is business. And then once business is done, both men can shake hands and hug each other out. But ultimately, I think America wants to win and India wants to win, and both can win. One doesn't have to win and the other one doesn't have to lose, because we both can win, because China can lose. And if India is going to become this manufacturing hub, pharmaceutical hub, maybe a new automotive player in the game with Maharaja and the Be Sexy thing, I want one of those. Those are the coolest things ever. But let's see what the man, the myth, the legend has to say.
Says,
Abhishek Chavada. I think I said that right.
why isn't Elon Musk trying to launch Starlink in China?
I don't think, also, if he sends Starlink to China, he knows that China's going to take it, break it apart, and just reverse engineer and steal as much intellectual property as possible.
If he forces Starlink
That's how they've gotten to where they're at now.
in India, wouldn't it also be a threat to China? Can we use China as a proxy to fight this war? Okay.
Yeah, damn, he said war. God damn. War? That's a bit extreme.
I'm sure Elon Musk must have made some kind of proposal in the past to China and requested the Chinese leadership to allow Starlink to operate there as a token gesture.
I'm not too confident on how that may never have actually happened. It may not have happened yet.
Just to put it on the record, everyone knows China will never allow Starlink to operate in their country.
Why?
It's a national security threat for China to have
that's why.
foreign internet provider beaming in the.
I'm just looking at this from the American POV over here. We have China that has farmland or actual land. China owns land in America next to farmland, next to military bases. They have, like, we buy telephone and telecom stuff from them. You're telling me we can't have a little bit of our shit over there and siphoning some of it back? You telling me no?
Internet straight to
Crazy.
Chinese
You
homes
crazy.
and Chinese people wherever in China. It's a national security threat. China has this great firewall by which they
Yeah, it's called the Great Wall of China.
well, it won't work. It won't work. But the point is, what about India? He wants to offer Starlink in India. Now we know that price-wise, Starlink doesn't make any sense to any Indian. We have some of the cheapest internet in the world.
Apparently, you guys have the cheapest internet. You guys get internet for like $7 a month. I'm at $81 a month,
Cheapest
but I get 5G internet.
high-speed internet in the world.
Ooh.
Okay, we in India, we are
You guys get 5G and, like, I mean real 5G.
very fortunate as a nation that we have such high-quality internet throughout
Okay.
most of the country at such incredibly cheap rates. Okay, it's
Not for long though, I promise you.
not being beamed to us from space, from orbit, but it's your local, the cables and all that. But it works really well. It's really high speed, high quality, and it's incredibly cheap. The price per megabyte or gigabyte, it will be like incredibly low compared to any other nation we can think of. Now, if Starlink starts operating in India, they're gonna provide you limited internet at at a much more expensive rate. So most Indians won't care for it. Won't
Actually, I don't know. I don't think that's how Starlink works. I'm pretty sure once you buy the thing, the internet is free. It's not like you pay a service. It's like the satellites are already in space. So you buy the box, you turn on the box, and then you have internet. I think that's how that works.
Buy it. Some people, like rich people, may buy it just to show off that, look, I've got Starlink. That's it. But here's the deal. And by the way, sorry, here's the deal. Rosa saying, oh, sorry, I'm not Biden. The point is, the point is, there are, we have problems in India, right? Every nation has problems. We have problems in India. We have
Yeah.
a very large population of foreign infiltrators who's living in India, close to maybe 100 million, Bangladeshis, Rohingyas, etc.
So you're literally the same problem as the United States. You're infiltrated by foreign invaders. Your politicians are corrupt with the internal corrupt bureaucracy, with the internal deep state trying to perpetuate itself and like fuel itself forward in spite of the community, and instead of being in for the community. Is it just thriving off of their successes
And these elements
and their time and their resources?
can be leveraged by foreign powers to unleash mayhem in India, riots in such situations. Now, let's say you have a hypothetical, fictitious scenario, okay, in which you have a riot in some particular part of India, some city, some town, or whatever. What the government will immediately do is they will shut down temporarily the cellular networks, cell phone networks, and internet in that region. And then they will go out on the street, the police, and they will pacify the situation essentially. And once things go back to normal, in a few days, the cellular network and the internet will be restarted.
This is why you would want Starlink. That is a perfect example. If you're an Indian, if you live in India, why you would want a Starlink in your back pocket just in case some riot goes down and they shut down your telecommunications and they shut down the internet and you can only get propaganda, I mean government fed information. You would want Starlink to be able to go on Twitter and see what's going on in the world. I mean, I swear, you go on Twitter, like if you want the most up to date what's going on in the world, go on Twitter, go to what's happening now, and then find a post and then read like the top few comments, because underneath is just spam bots, but the top few comments are real people that have engagements. You can see everything going on, and you can kind of filter and get a general view of what the hell is happening.
So that's the kind of action the government takes when there is some kind of disturbance in any part of India. Now imagine you have Starlink, which is beaming internet to all parts of India. In that case, even if the government shuts off the cellular and internet networks in the region, Starlink will keep beaming
That's good.
internet to that region.
That's a
Of
good
course,
thing.
the government can tell Starlink, please switch off your signal to this particular region. Starlink may or may not comply.
I'd say that's a maybe. I don't know if Elon would necessarily comply there. But think about this too. We've seen this in Canada, not even America, India. We're looking at Canada where there's a riot and the government shut down the banks, the ability for these people to make transactions and live for these truckers. And then if you supported the truckers and donated the money, they stopped that too and shut down your bank accounts. That's why you're gonna want some crypto to be able to be all like so that other people can't tell you how to live your life. So long that you're not doing harm to the community and you're focusing on doing good to the community, who is to tell you what you can and can't do?
Okay? They may or may not comply. Or they may comply 24 or 48 hours too late. By which time the anti-national elements, the rioters, will get enough time to do whatever they want to do, despite there being no internet in the region from other sources. It can allow terrorists and separatists like Pakistani infiltrating in Pakistani terrorists operating in Jammu Kashmir, that region, or cooking.
Operating off fear like this, if terrorists want to come in and do harm to your nation, they don't need Starlink, right? It might make it slightly easier, 1% easier, but they're still going to figure out a way. If you make it harder for normal people to get access to the internet or even be potentially manipulated by the access to the internet they do have, guess what? Criminals are always going to find a way to work around. That's what I was trying to get at. Criminals are always going to break the laws, bend the law, kind of see where they can and can't get away from. And people who follow the law, who are trying to be good to their community and to their fellow neighbors, probably aren't worried about like where's the gray zone, where can they dance.
Key terrorists operating in Manipur, Mizoram, or other terrorists, whoever it is, the Naxalites in other parts of India. It will enable these people to operate with impunity, to communicate with each other despite whatever internet or cellular bans the government may put in place. That's why it's a disaster if you allow Starlink in India. And Elon Musk has gone on the record in the past. Okay, he's an agent of empire, Elon Musk. Uh, Let me go and find that particular tweet, for example. Uh, Elon Musk's tweet. Just give me a minute. I'm going to dig it out very fast as soon as I can. Starlink. There was a controversy on Twitter a few days ago. I was kind of involved in that because I expressed.
Elon involved with controversy on Twitter? No, 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 no way. Elon? Controversial? Talking some smack? Nah, must be somebody else.
The opinion that Starlink is dangerous for India. Just give me a second. Let me pull it out as soon as quickly as I can.
Here, while you do that, I'm gonna let you think. Hold on, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna pull up this real quick. We're just gonna do this a little faster. Is Starlink bad for India? Let's see what Grok has to say. This debate over whether Starlink is bad for India involves multiple dimensions, including national security, economic impact, regulatory compliance, and technological benefits. Here's a breakdown of the key points. National security concerns. There have been concerns about Starlink being a potential security threat due to its association with the U.S. government. I guess now that Elon is in the U.S. government, fair point. Okay. Starlink's close ties with the U.S. intelligence and military establishments have raised questions about the data interception and control, emphasizing the need for stringent security measures in India. I mean, in all fairness, India should look out for India's sake, right? India should look out for India's benefit 100% of the time. Regulatory challenges. Starlink is faced with hurdles getting clearance to operate in India with regulatory bodies like the Department of Telecommunications, aka DOT. Economic and market impact. The entry of Starlink could potentially disrupt the existing telecom market in India, where companies like Airtel have significant stakes. I mean, get good, don't suck. Let the cream rise to the top. I'm sorry. Pricing of Starlink services in India is another point of contention. While the initial cost may be potentially prohibitive for widespread adoption, in particularly rural areas where it could be most beneficial, I'm pretty positive once you buy the damn thing, you put it outside, you point it to the sky, and you got internet. So I think the pricing may be like a small upfront cost, but paired with this new one district, one one product mindset India has in these different areas, this could work. Like and using that money to go back and to fund rural areas and help to like teach farmers better agricultural tendencies. This could be a part of that. Like this could be a part of this. So there's guys in India right now who are doing the deeds to get over that price barrier, because that's always going to be an issue. Technological benefits. On the positive side, Starlink offers a promise for high-speed internet to the remote and underserved areas in India, or underserved areas in India, potentially bridging the digital divide that could be transformative for education, healthcare, and economic opportunities in rural India, which is exactly what we're talking about.
Elon Musk's statement. Here you have it. Okay, let me put that on the screen. Okay,
Do it for me. Do it for
so
me.
let me
I'll be hit.
put that
I'm gonna call you Abhi.
on the screen.
Okay,
This
Abhi?
is what I tweeted on the 17th of October. Today is 20, right? Here we are. So Elon Musk had tweeted this in September 2021.
They could shake
So
their
it's
fist
in
at the
response to
sky.
somebody. Okay.
God darn it! Why are you giving me free high-speed internet?
So a certain naval intelligence officer, Laila Kohistani, told CNN that she would love it if SpaceX would just flood Afghanistan with Starlink, so that there's a way for us to maintain communication with our Afghan partners, which tells you that Starlink, if it is beamed to any part of the world, you can communicate over there. You don't need ground stations.
That's a beautiful thing. Being able to communicate with each other, because I feel like fear and the lack, like a language barrier, which the internet has broken the language barrier. There's so many people who watch my videos who speak Hindi. I don't speak Hindi, right? I could speak Spanish. Maybe you don't speak Spanish. No hablo español. But if you did, like, even if you didn't, I could speak all Spanish, and YouTube can translate it to where you could hear the way the words flow out my mouth. And sometimes, if you get a little giggle, a little hee hee, you're like, yo, he made me laugh, and he's on the other side of the world. Like, that's a beautiful thing, is it not?
Even without ground-based stations with which amplify the signal, even without this station, Starlink is accessible. It will give you a certain speed, maybe 1 or 2 Mbps, which is enough. So then, so somebody says, Scott Manley, that they need to find a friendly neighboring country who wants to help the US against Taliban so that they can deploy a downlink station. Elon Musk says our satellites launching in the next few months, 2021 September. Our satellites launching in the next few months have inter-satellite laser links, so no local downlink needed. And active in 4 to 6 months probably. That is way back in 21, so it's already active now. And then somebody else asks him, how does transmitting into a country without local downlink work on the regulatory side? Elon Musk says they can shake their fist at the sky, which means that they can't do a thing.
So in terms of the like regulatory section, if the government, if there's a riot breaking down, let's say in Bangladesh, right, well on the nose there, and the government shuts down the internet and the telecommunications there, people who aren't involved in the riot, who are everyday people who are kind of confused on the situation, are only going to get fed one source of information, and that is whatever the government says. And the government is going to clearly paint good side, bad side, and we know just through life, most oftentimes there's some gray, and both sides have done a little dirty, and you need to have access to the internet to figure out the actual truth of the matter. That's why you want Starlink to have access and to be able to go once more on Twitter or whatever social media platform that you're on and figure out what's going on in my area.
And even if they take regulatory action and request us to stop beaming the signal, they can keep shaking their fist at the sky. We'll not stop it if we don't want to. And at some other time, Elon Musk had said that we will coup whoever we want. We will coup whoever we want. We can do a coup. He's happy to for his country to do a coup in any nation as suits the US.
Elon is a free speech absolutist, right? So if he, let's just say you have Team Blue, Team Red. Team Red has Starlink. I bet you if something bad happened to Team Blue, Elon would go over and send Starlink over there as well, because it's not about one side being right or the other. It's just about helping humans have contact and communications with each other.
So my point is, this is a very dangerous thing, Starlink. And I hear that the government of India is considering allowing Starlink in India and giving them spectrum. That I think would be a disastrous step for national security. And I would like to urge the government of India to not allow Starlink in India. Okay? Don't allow Starlink in India. It will give all kinds of anti-national elements.
I don't I don't know if that's necessarily true. You can put up perimeters and regulatory things of saying, hey, we're gonna have access to all the data that you guys are gathering, and then from there we can distribute if you guys get any data, if at all.
A free hand in communicating with each other. So, what had I said at the time? Yeah, let me put this back on the screen. Okay, not this.
No,
I
not that
had
one.
said this just 2 or 3 days ago. Starlink, if made available in India, will pose a grave threat to national security. It will give separatists, rioters, etc., unfettered internet access, will render the government of India helpless.
I'm not gonna lie. Uh, Abby, a VPN can also give separatist rioters and unfettered internet access, and would render the government helpless in that regard as well. Like, I, I think this is just a little bit of fear mongering. I'm not gonna lie. Also, for the love of God, switch your shit to dark mode. Don't flashbang yourself anymore. Don't do it to your eyes.
India should not allow Starlink in. Do you see Elon Musk asking for Starlink
So
in
bright.
China? And I'm pretty sure he must have asked at some point for Starlink in China just to put that request on the record so that they can then, tell India, nations like India that you need to allow it in. You are a democracy, China is not. They use all these tactics against us. My point is, Starlink should not be allowed in India.
I I I get a sense, and you guys could call me out on this. Call me out if I'm being ignorant on this or not. But there seems like there's a fear, not a fear. I didn't grow up in India, so but from understanding a 1% of Indian history, the British have invaded, Islamic invaders have come in and pillaged, and it's just set India back consistently. And it feels like, and I could be wrong, what's more, that India as a country, as a continent, as a people, have not had many bit like true good outside relationships. China keeps fucking up. Once more, we had the Mongols. I don't want to bring up Britain again because Britain is a very sensitive subject, very deservingly so, because they did a lot of messed up crap there. And America and India can shake hands and have a drink and be like, "Yo, the British suck." But it feels like there's a sense of India that, or from what I'm getting, that there's hesitancy with having a friendship with America because in the past, the previous friendships were kind of backstabby situations. And I'm not gonna front here and say that the American government is the most wholesome, saintiest thing in the world, because I also think our government is corrupt. I do like our new, our leader Trump, with Vivek, with Tulsi, RFK, Elon, that whole crew. I'm very, very pro for Cash Patil, who's coming in. Very pro, very, very good thing. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, then please like the video, subscribe, and if you really like it, then share it with some of your friends. My goal here is to spread a positive message while sprinkling my 2 cents on big topics like American, Indian, and world geopolitics, and even small stuff like Twitch drama and online debacles. And if you want to see it live, come join me over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ActuallyElrod. That's where I'm going to do all my reactions, and after the reactions, that's where we get down a game. And if you're like, hey, I have a video that I want this dude to sprinkle his 2 cents on, then come over on my Discord and let me know and join the community there. And while we're at it, I have to say thank you to everybody who has made that Discord just so poppin'. I never thought I'd have a Discord that's so flowing. It's really cool to see. Shout out to you, Bobby, Omni, Demon, all of you who have been in there who are just super active. Logie, you're the man. Logie is the one who's like modding and helping run the server, so thank you, Logie. Lastly, I challenge you. I have a challenge for you. Make somebody laugh today. We all know there's enough hate and vitriol in the world. If energy is contagious like the flu, then let's spread and get everyone contagious with our positive energy, right? Not negative energy, because there's so much of that. And if we could just be a small little change in someone's day, then you never know. Maybe that's the thing that starts shifting this world to a happier, healthier, just better place. And with all of that said and done, thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.